It is 2:18. A very good afternoon. Sunny and Shay, we're here with you until 4 o'clock today. And I think it's very fair to say, isn't it, Sunny, that our first guest today for afternoon tea is very much a friend of the show.
He is, and he's someone that we're really excited to have in every time he comes in.
Yes.
He's always doing an amazing job of, highlighting plight for other people, but also someone who is so confident in himself. I had to take a leaf out of his book.
You certainly did.
You know what I mean?
You certainly did. Now, Alex Manners is from Solihull, and the 22-year-old has Asperger's, and you might recognise him as former contestant on Channel 4's The Undateables. Well, we first got to meet Alex back in 2015 when he came on the show. He had a national campaign. He wanted to be the next Top Gear presenter. He didn't quite get there, bless him, but that hasn't stopped him.
No, but Chris Evans interviewed him.
He did.
And he said, you've got all the right tools.
Absolutely.
We're just going to see if you get it. And then he didn't make it, but it's all good.
Hasn't
it's all
stopped
good.
him though, because he's back now. He's got a new book which is entitled "That's Not Right: My Life Living with Asperger's," and he joins us now. Alex, it's a pleasure
Hello,
to have
Alex.
you back on
Hello.
the show.
Thank you for inviting me back.
Now, firstly, must say a huge congratulations on the book. There's a lot to find out since we've last spoken to you, and I feel like we should delve into talking about Channel 4's The Undateables because, of course, that was the most recent thing that a lot of people got to see you on. How was that whole experience of being on The Undateables?
It was fantastic, really, because as well as potentially meeting someone who I really got on well with, it was also a chance to highlight, raise awareness for Asperger's and what it's like to live with, and also some of the things that I do in everyday life, from my radio show or going to football matches. So it's just an absolutely fantastic show to be a part of.
And, I guess everybody wants to know, after the cameras went away and you went home, how has the dating been with the young lady?
It was a fantastic date that I went on. It was my first ever date. So it was...
Wow.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. It was quite a weird experience to know that all my friends and family were going to be able to watch
Your
my
first ever date.
But it went so much better than I expected. We got on so well. We had so much in common.
Yeah.
She had Asperger's as well.
Yeah.
So, we had so much to talk about. We literally didn't have any silent moments where we didn't know what to talk about.
Right.
Because we just got on so well, and we've kept in touch, and I'm excited for the future, really.
And remind us of her name again.
Her name was Rebecca.
Rebecca. So I'm so glad to hear that you went on your first ever date. You decided, right, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it on TV. And then what was the feedback that all the family gave from watching you on Channel 4?
They were, for instance, a lot of my family said that we were the most sort of natural couple on the programme, and they could tell how well we got on with each other. And they thought the programme was put together really, really well. And, I thought it was absolutely fantastic the way the things they put on the episode.
Yeah.
And do you think that people who misunderstand what Asperger's is or didn't understand how to talk and be around people with Asperger's, this gave people an insight to say, listen, you just act normally around me. You know what I mean? You don't have to treat me any different. I've just got these different set of skills, and I'll let you know.
Yeah, it was fantastic because I spoke on the show about my time at school and how I struggled with it. But also I spoke about why dating is difficult for me and people with Asperger's. And it really highlighted why probably, I've never been on a date before, because I find it difficult, with the eye contact and the body language, facial expressions, all those kind of things.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily know if someone did like me unless they actually told me.
Told you, yeah.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because, Alex, I've got to say, from we've really followed your journey for the past, 4 years. I still remember when you came on the show and you said, look, I'm a presenter, I've got a lust for life, you're really fun, you're quirky, our listeners can't see this, but you never wear the colour black.
No.
You are wearing just a fantastic multicoloured top right now, and it's all about lust for life. But as you say, you have Asperger's, which is a form of autism, and for you it's been about breaking down those barriers, and letting people know that it's not the be all and end all of you as a person. So you've now decided that, right, in and amongst everything else you do, you're going to write a book.
Yep.
So this is self-published. The name of the book is That's Not Right: My Life Living with Asperger's. So tell us about the book. How's the whole experience been for you, writing down and putting pen to paper, really?
Well, I decided to write the book because I'd started to write a few articles on my Asperger's, and one of the first articles I wrote, I said to my dad, after I'd left sixth form, it is, have you got any information about the things that went on whilst I was at school? Right. And he handed me massive boxes of file after file after file of all the problems that I'd had at school and all the things he'd sort of been trying to push for, and because he'd had to do a lot of fighting to get me the support I needed.
Right.
And then I thought, wow, people need to hear this and know about this kind of things, these kind of problems, because it's not just me going through them, it's others all over the world with Asperger's will have similar problems.
Yeah.
So I started to write articles on them, and then I got so many articles and done so many talks on my Asperger's, I thought this all needs to go into a book.
Yeah. And when everything that your dad did for yourself, did you know at the time that he was doing this behind the scenes, trying to get you that support and help?
I knew he was helping me, but
not to that
extent.
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of things that I found out from when I was at school that I just didn't know.
Yeah.
And I think my dad didn't want to tell me these things. I think he waited till I'd left like sixth form to tell me what was going on.
Tell us about one of the struggles that he had then that you were really shocked about, that you learned when he gave you these boxes.
There were just lots of different things from things that, the way teachers, had preconceived ideas of what autism and Asperger's was. And even to the point where, things were being changed on a regular basis and I was getting really stressed.
Yeah.
And he just showed me a load of the emails that he'd had with different people and some of their responses. And it was just shocking to really, know the things that the things that he'd had to fight for me to get the support I needed.
Yeah.
Because realistically, it was all written in my statement, the support I needed, but it was often not really given to me or given to me in small amounts and not the amount that I was actually entitled to. So I think hearing things like that was eye-opening, really.
Now, there's a lot more to talk about. The name of the book is That's Not Right, My Life Living with Asperger's. And we're going to continue having a chat with Alex. But also, not only is he an author now, so congratulations to Alex, he's a big football fan as well. And he's got a great campaign, Autism and Football. So we'll find out more in the next half an hour of the show. So stay with us. If you want further details, by the way, I'd say go to that website. It's thealexmanners.com, thealexmanners.com, and the book is available on pre-order now, and it releases next week. So you've got plenty and ample of time to get hold of Alex Manners' new book. Very good afternoon. Sunny and Shay, we're here with you until 4 o'clock today. Still lots to come on the show. After 3 o'clock, you'll hear our chat in full with Loose Women presenter Andrew McLean. She's actually coming on tour in May. She's going to be at Birmingham's Old Rep with her debut show, Confessions of a Menopausal Woman. Now, the book sold out and it's been such a success. So you'll hear our chat with her in full about the book, the tour, and also, of course, we'll catch up with her about Loose Women as well. But if you're just tuning in, we've been having such a great chat today. Been catching up with Alex Manners from Solihull. Now, he's very much a friend of the show. Sunny and I have followed his journey for the past 4 years. It all began when he got in touch and said, Sunny and Shay, I've got a campaign. I want to be the next Top Gear presenter. Although he didn't quite make it, he's had a very busy couple of years. Now, Alex actually has Asperger's, which is a form of autism. And you might recognise Alex as well. He was a former contestant on Channel 4's The Undateables. Well, he's got a new book out now, which is entitled That's Not Right, My Life Living with Asperger's, and it's available for pre-order on Amazon. It's going to be out next week. But I'd also recommend, if you just go to his website, thealexmanners.com, you can get all the details there. Now, Alex, you were talking extensively about your experience going to school and how your father really had to fight and took on a lot of your battles of the experiences that you had in school. Well, we've actually had Pauline Yardley who's got in touch, and he says, hi, Sunny and Shay. I'm actually at work, so I can't come on the show, but my son has Asperger's, and I wanted to know if you could please ask your guest, Alex, where I can get the support groups for him, because my son is struggling to find support groups with people with Asperger's. He's 13 years old at the moment, and he needs the support to get through school.
Right.
So what recommendation would you give, Alex?
Well, one charity that I've always been involved with that help people with autism and Asperger's is a local one in Solihull called Family Equip.
Mm-hmm.
And they were fantastic. I've been involved with them ever since I was first diagnosed. They helped me to get my diagnosis. They helped me to when I moved to secondary school, and I've been going to there. They've got some therapeutic clubs that they put on every week for people like myself with Asperger's, And I used to attend those as a member, but now for the past few years, I've been volunteering at the clubs.
Amazing.
So that was one challenge.
Can I ask you, I think you might be even covering this in the book, when it comes to Asperger's, is it different spectrums and how it affects individuals as well? It's not like it's like a broken arm and you put a plaster on, it'll fix, right? So we know how to do that. But when it comes to Asperger's, it's not the same. If you're diagnosed, it's not the same as someone else with Asperger's. So everyone would have their own kind of, struggles.
Yeah, that's right. Everyone with Asperger's is different.
Right.
So the traits that I have and the struggles I have will be completely different to, say, my friend who's got Asperger's.
Right. So if I said, oh, I know someone with Asperger's, so I can get on with you. No, you know someone with Asperger's, but my Asperger's would be different from your friends.
Yeah.
That's basically what we're getting at here.
That's it. And we'd have different things that we struggle with, different things that we find relaxing and calming, and different ways of coping with things. So yeah, it would be completely different, really.
So now how if someone like myself who wants to make you feel comfortable in my home, in my work environment, what's the best way to approach the symptoms? How can I come up to you? Can I come up to you and say, Alex, I know you have Asperger's, so can you please tell me what I can do to make it easier so when you're around me? Is that a better way to, or what is your symptoms so I know to keep away, I don't know, black around you? I won't offer you a black jacket, for example, or I won't move your cup if that's going to, upset you. So how does someone approach someone with Asperger's without offending them?
Well, it's, as I've said, it's different for everyone. So for me, I'm good at having, conversations and looking people in the eye, whereas a lot of people with Asperger's find it struggle to have conversations, and things such as, even when I'm having a conversation, things such as idioms and sarcasm, I don't necessarily understand, or certain phrases, I can find difficult.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, everyone is different, and also things like, for instance, in my bedroom, if someone has got an exact place, so if someone moves something even slightly, I can notice it, even if it's like a pen that's just been tilted.
Yeah.
I'm like, Mum, have you been in my room? Have you got my pen?
So no one can sneak in your room. You'll know.
Oh, no.
You'll know.
Do you know, something that I must say, and we've said this to you before, Alex, we think you are so fantastic. You really are just a great energy, and you've got such a lust for life, but you are such a busy young man. I don't know how you managed to fit everything in, because not only have you written your own first book, you also have a brilliant campaign because you love football, and your campaign has been Autism and Football, and only this weekend you've completed quite a quest. So tell us about that.
So for the past 12 years, I've been going to football matches, mainly with my uncle Tim, and my quest was to watch a match at all 92 professional football league clubs in the top 4 tiers of English football. And as I said, we've been doing it for 12 years, so it's taken 12 years to do. But on Saturday, I finally visited my 92nd club and completed watching a match at all 92 professional clubs.
That is amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How did you celebrate? Was there a celebration? Did you have an extra pie? What did you do?
Well, the last match was in Scunthorpe, so we went to watch Scunthorpe versus Burton Albion. Right. And Burton Albion are one of the clubs that I follow and I've supported for a number of years. And we got a bit of hospitality, and I was lucky enough to get a signed shirt as well. So
well done.
I have a little article in the programme as well.
So what is it that you've been doing with your campaign over the last couple of years in terms of autism football? Because you are a big football fan, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, I go to football matches every single week, and I decided that, I've got autism and Asperger's, and so many other fans going to matches will also have Asperger's and autism. And I wanted to start a campaign to help people and have a better match day experience. So I got in contact with a number of different clubs, and I've been down to a number of different clubs to help them to make their grounds and match day experiences more autism friendly. So I've been involved with clubs in London, in Wales, my local club Solihull Moors. I've helped on a number of different autism projects, and I created Solihull Moors, a sensory story for people with Asperger's.
Fantastic. This is just amazing.
Can I ask you, Alex, which club is doing, in your opinion, the right thing when it comes to Asperger's?
Well, there are a number of clubs that have sensory rooms for people with autism and are doing a number of things like providing noise-cancelling headphones for matches and things, and letting people through, instead of the traditional thin turnstiles, through gates. Yeah. So there are a number of clubs doing that, but the clubs I've worked with include Arsenal, Watford and Swansea City. Yes. So they're some of the clubs that are doing really, really fantastic work. for people.
Now, Paul has just got in touch. Says, Sunny and Shay, please could you say thank you to Alex? I'm really going to check out this support group for my son. He says a big thank you to you, Alex. So that support group again is Family Equip, EQUIP. So Family Equip in Solihull. Hopefully that will give you some further information. You can go to their website, by the way, because they actually support families of children with emotional and behavioural difficulties across the West Midlands. Okay, so it's not just specifically Solihull, it's across the West Midlands. So go to that website, familyequip.co.uk. Finally, we've got to ask you then, Alex, you've done so much already. I feel exhausted for you. What are the plans for the rest of the year? Have you got other projects you're working on, or are you just excited about the fact that your new book is out and you want to promote this?
Yeah, I'm just so thrilled that I've actually got a book because, you know, I knew I was writing a book and I knew I was going to get it published, but to actually have a physical book there to actually look at is so amazing. I can't even explain how you know that feels, because you know I've never had that feeling before. But I'm doing so many other things. I've got a number of talks coming up because I do a number of talks on my life living with Asperger's. So I've got a number of those coming up in London and in Manchester, as well as doing my radio show, which I do every Sunday on Solihull Radio, and then you know promoting my book. So I'm doing loads and loads of different things.
And what was one of the things in the book that you're so proud that you got it into, you know, in print form?
I think the most important thing is that I've actually been able to share my story.
Yeah.
Because through my talks, I only really travel around the UK, whereas the challenges that I went through will be, you know, experienced by people not just in the UK but all over the world.
Yes.
And my book will really, really help people all over the world. I hope, you know, to show them that actually there are other people like them going through similar problems, and you know to raise you know awareness for actually, yes, there are challenges of having Asperger's, but there are also many positives, which is the things I focus on.
Now, we've just had another message come in from Mark and Quinton, who says, hi, Sunny and Shay,
Hello,
and
Mark.
also Alex. He says, my son has Asperger's since the age of 11, and he is now 32 years old. He finds it extremely difficult to interact with other people, especially people he does not know. In fact, with that, though, he has held down a high-intensive job. He's able to talk to people on the phone, but he'd be unable to speak to people face to face because he hates his routine being broken. He has a father, and is a father who has brought up his own since the age of 11, and he's always there for him as well, says Mark. Isn't that lovely?
Is that something that you've heard in the past when you give your talks with families who've come and shared their experiences with people, with individuals who are living with Asperger's at the moment? Is that a familiar story?
Yeah, it is, because even some of my friends, when I'm speaking to them, we can have a proper conversation because they feel comfortable around me.
Yes.
But when, say, some of my family speak to them, they can't really hold down a conversation, because I think it's all about trust. When you trust someone, you can sort of be more open towards them. But definitely the things that he's saying, so sort of like having struggling with having a face-to-face conversation, I know a lot of people struggle with that.
So I just want to go back to one more thing, because I just want to get as much understanding of this as possible. And so that someone like myself or Shay or even Adam, if we interact with people with Asperger's, what's the top tip that you can give us to say how to behave so that we can put them at ease as much as we can with that first meeting?
I think if you're speaking to someone with Asperger's, just have empathy for them, that they may need a bit more time to answer your questions.
Okay. And so just stay back and just be patient.
Yes, and also they may not look like they're engaging in the conversation, but they will be. Just they may need, you know, they may be focusing on something in the background, but they'll still be taking all your information and the conversation in.
So don't judge the conversation by the fact that there's no eye contact, perhaps. It's more about the fact that, as you say, empathise, but also talk to each other. That's the whole point, isn't it? And Alex, you do that so very well, may I say. Such a pleasure having you on the show. If you've just tuned in, can I just tell you, Alex is only 22 years old.
I know.
Goodness knows what he's going to do in the next decade.
I'm 22. I haven't even put up a post on Instagram, and he's written a book. You know what I mean? So well done, my friend.
Alex, we'll continue, as we have for the past 4 years, to follow your journey. We are genuinely blown over by just how much you're doing, and I'm sure we will let Francie know as well, because I know you tune into the Football Phone-In. So we will let Francie know that you have now achieved your quest, especially with Autism and Football. He's back tomorrow on the show. Today it's Richard, but lovely having you on the show as always, Alex.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us today. If you'd like further details, the new book, That's Not Right, My Life Living Living with Asperger's by Alex Manners. It is available for pre-record, and then of course it's going to be out next week. Just go to Amazon, or even better, head to his website, thealexmanners.com.